Hi. Today we're going to do a couple books that deal with language. I want to start off with a little bit of a alphabet book that's pretty fun. First, I'm going to show you a couple more traditional alphabet books that I like. This is Eating the Alphabet by Lois Ehlert, which has a lot of fruits and vegetables. It's in a style similar to Eric Carle, but I think hers are all painted on, whereas what Eric Carle does is he dyes paper in one color of paint, and then he cuts the paper up like construction paper, and then basically tapes it together to create his images. And I think hers are all painted on. What I like about it is you get a lot of different pronunciations for each letter. For like A, we get artichoke, avocado, apple, asparagus, apricot. For C, for instance, we get currant, cabbage, corn. We also get celery and cherry. So there's a lot of different ways to pronounce each letter. Sometimes you get books like Bad Kitty by Nick Bruel, which has multiple lists of things in alphabetical order. Foods the cat doesn't like to eat: asparagus, beets, cauliflower, dill, eggplants, fennel, garlic, horseradish. Then, for instance, things the cat does because it's angry: ate my homework, bit grandma, oh dear, clawed the curtains, damaged the dishes, endangered the goldfish. So you get lots of different kind of reiterations of the alphabet. But the one I'm going to read you today is a little different. It is called P is for Pterodactyl, the worst alphabet book ever. One thing about English is one of the hardest languages to teach or to learn, because in most other languages, there's specific rules that get followed. In English, every rule has multiple exceptions to it. And so the rules aren't really rules. They're just kind of not even like guidelines. And this book does a good job of kind of showing that by giving a lot of letters that don't sound the way we expect them to sound. So P is for Pterodactyl, the worst alphabet book ever. By Raj Haldar and Chris Carpenter. Pictures by Maria Tina Bedia. This is the cover page. One thing that's really useful for kids is if they can learn the cover page, the spine of the book, then learn how to tell you where the author's name is and the illustrator's name is. That helps kids have a deeper understanding of books. For some reason, the earlier kids learn that, the better they do later on with reading comprehension. There's been a lot of study related to that. Okay, so now we're ready. A is for aisle. The bread aisle has not been cleaned in eons. Eons also begins with A. And 9 tiny beasts meet to have a feast. B is for Delium. We doubt that anyone knows what Delium is, but it's the only word dumb enough to begin with a silent B. C is for Czar. Shh. The fascinating Czar is secretly part Czech. Czech's another word that begins with C but doesn't sound like it. With CZ. But even the CZ in Czech sounds different than the CZ in Czar. D is for Djibouti. The boat race begins when the handsome judge from Djibouti drops his handkerchief from the bridge. E is for you. Eileen the ewe was so euphoric the wolves were eaten. She gave the eulogy. And euphoric and eulogy are other words that begin with E, but sound like you. Eileen begins with an E, but sounds like I. F is not for photo, flim, fooey, or phone. F is only for photo when you speak fluent Spanish at home. G is for gnocchi. The gnome yells, "Waiter, there's a bright white gnat nibbling on my gnocchi." H is for air. The honest heir admits that herbalism isn't his cup of tea. I is not for I. We asked the pirate if he had two eyes, and he said, "I." The I, he said, was not even begun with an E. There's multiple ways to spell I. J is for J is for Highlight. Juanita and Bjorn happily play Highlight before eating fajitas in Juarez. So you get lots of J sounding like different words in that sentence, different letters in that sentence. K is for knight. The noble knight's knife nicked the knave's knee. L is not for L. An elephant named L rode the L train halfway to El Paso and dined on hearts of palm with her folks. M is for mnemonic. But now Mr. M can't remember why. N is not for not. N is for naughty children who will sing a solemn hymn when autumn comes to an end. O is for Ouija. The French leopard says, we'd love to play Ouija with the wee witch from Oaxaca. T is for pterodactyl. Ptolemy, the psychic pterodactyl, struggles with psoriasis. Q is for quinoa. We can enjoy quinoa and quiche by the quays of Qatar. R is not for R. In England, the Queen proclaims, "We aren't saying the R's in butterfly, shark, or lizard." Butterfly, shark, or lizard. S is for seas. C.C. swam through the debris in the seas to see the imaginary Isle of New Arkansas. So Isle and Arkansas don't really have an S in them. They do actually have an S in them, but you don't hear it. Same with debris. T is for tsunami. The charging tsunami washed away all of Tchaikovsky's tchotchkes. U is not for you. You never could have guessed that the wolf was disguised as the U. This refers back to the earlier U. V is for 5. How romantic. W is for wren. The wren wrapped the rabbit's gift in red, but forgot to write a note. X is for xylophone. Xavier's extra arm made him an exceptional xylophone player. Y is not for Y. But Ives, who is wearing yellow shorts, yells, "Why is the Eiffel Tower upside down?" Z is for Zhivago. Good night, Zhivago the zebra. I've enjoyed our rendezvous. Zzz. And then it has a glossary also to explain how those words are pronounced and what they mean.